sort through my binder or anything to do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day number 2 of MisprintCon. This is MisprintCon 2019. We're live here in Columbus, Ohio at Comic Town Game Center. I am live here with
Simon
Christie.
Yeah.
And he has a binder full of misprints and I think a misprinted legacy deck that he'd like to show us. So let's go ahead and start us off.
Yeah, okay, so we'll just go through. So my binder's not very well organized because most of my cards are in decks, but I have some interesting stuff in here, and we'll just go through, and I'm probably going to need to pull some of these out because they're
Yeah. If you hold them up towards the camera, that'll help with the glare. Yeah, there you go. Well, that is beautiful. And so tell me a little about what that is.
So this is a 4th edition island that's missing all the black ink. So if you can see on the camera, but you can see where it says illustrated Mark Poole.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no copyright line or anything down there, and it should say copyright 1994.
Right.
And so the mana symbols and stuff. So sorry, there's some glare on here from the perfect fit.
Yeah.
But it really pops. You comparing it next to sort of a regular one, that just the color difference is
seeing them in contrast
amazing.
is really cool.
Yeah. We're seeing it next to a Summer Magic one as well. So just a really neat card. Doesn't show up, I don't think, on camera quite as well as in person, but it's a really neat card. Something that whenever I put down across the table, people always stop and go, "What is that?"
I like that you were able to just casually show us a summer island as comparison.
Yeah, so I obviously I like this art. So this is just my binder where I keep some lands. So again, I got a summer swamp here and some miscut swamps and sumps, some German ones. This one's kind of neat. Has like a big splotch on it. You see that?
Oh
which
wow,
is
yeah,
cool.
That is very cool.
So yeah, just these are some artworks I like. I have a lot of random stuff in this binder. So forest, some of these are in decks. You can see there's some like the FBB one here, so showing the bottom of the sheet edge. A little bit tough to see on the camera.
Yeah.
But pretty cool. This is just all 4th, and my summer one is in a deck. More Miscut Mountains, Unlimited Miscut Mountain. My summer one's in deck. Some Arabian Nights Mountains, just because they're fun. Some more basics. So here, moving on to some planes, Ice Age planes, unglued planes, just some other miscut planes. I'll go through these. There's nothing super exciting on most of these couple pages. Some islands, pretty cool islands. These are some starter miscut islands. There's not that many starter miscuts or misprints to come up, so this is a pretty neat one. You don't see all the time. Let's put this back in here. Same again, some swamps. This is one of the first miscut basics I actually ever got, so it's kind of sentimental as well. So,
Awesome.
I think it's Italian. Could be. I think it's Italian. Well, we should ask that we have an Italian here on site, but Toronto, I think it's Italian.
Yeah, that's definitely Italian.
So just kind of interesting. I think I might have my forest as well. This was one of the first. So I got this swamp and the Floresta at the same time. So 2 of the first basics, kind of sentimental things that didn't kick off the obsession, but they definitely kept help propelling it. So some nice forests here though. Quite a few miscut forests. Trying to match up some artwork here as well. Mountains. So this is my favorite mountain.
Okay.
So this mountain is Tempest, miscut mountain on the bottom, mountain artwork on top.
I like it.
Just really cool artwork by Mark Poole. Jagged, really mountain-looking mountain, and then slightly twisted miscut. Just a really neat card, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Then just some more mountains here. Okay, then so the bottom half of these pages, there's some regular lands, but at the top, you see, I have quite a few. I have a problem or an obsession with miscut snow basics.
Okay.
So I have quite a few. We'll go through here. There's some nice ones. So some of them are a little more subtle than others. Got some sideways. Yeah, it's hard to see on the glare, but basically these are the nicer ones. The ones that are miscut at the top here. I have a couple that are sideways and a couple that are off center as well. So planes. My favorite. miscut snow-covered island. So I think I have 9 of these miscut just like this. Some of them are actually in the deck. In the deck, we'll show afterwards. I just love this artwork. Anson Maddox, one of my favorite artists. The Easter Island snow heads.
That is actually my favorite island artwork. Yeah.
I think, as someone who played a lot during Ice Age, like that was sort of the early on in my Magic playing.
Same here. That was when I started.
As a kid. This is what I was fishing out of land boxes. You know? And just like I managed to get a couple, and just every time I see them, I pick them up. So like I said, I have 9, which is enough to make a pauper deck. Make a very expensive mana base for a pauper deck, which is fun. Same again, just with swamps. So you can see the top of the swamp there. This one's really cool. I'm not sure that so I have a really cool swamp here. I'm not sure if this will show up very well on the stream. I'll probably take it out of here. But you can barely
if you
see
tilt
this.
it side to side, it might be there you go. Yeah, right there. So you can definitely see that ink error.
So there's so this is a weird one. It's not a normal ink error.
Is that a roller error?
It's not a roller error.
Really?
So I will let you look at it so you can see, and you can sort of talk through kind of what you're seeing, but look for the oval.
Oh, this is the back of the card has been printed partway onto the front of the card.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's really cool.
So I'm far from an expert on this, but what people that are more expert than me tell me is that when they print the cards, the sheets can still be slightly wet, or for lack of a better term, they haven't fully dried, and they put some sort of substance to help the sheets dry. I think a powder of some sort. But if they either mess up, or they don't put enough of the powder, or just the process is wrong somehow, you can have the sheet from above sitting on top of the card below,
and it will donate some ink,
and it can donate. And that appears to be what has happened here. So it's really cool, just looking, and you can see the C really clearly. So I would tell everyone, like, look for the C or look for the oval and work your way back and see that magic card. But if you just saw this in a sleeve, you would just say like, oh, ink smear. Blush,
it does sort of just look like you had an ink error, or
it's a reminder to sometimes go a little bit deeper. And you can find out. I asked around, like, how does this happen? Like,
right.
I learned something about the process that I didn't know by asking those questions.
And this is one of those things, guys, that if you find an error like that and you don't know what it is, we had an hour and 20 or hour and 25 minute segment yesterday with Ryan Rooks.
Yeah, so I spoke to Ryan about this yesterday, so he helped.
And of course, Ryan is the author of a Collector's History of Magic the Gathering. And he is working on a book now about the different types of misprints. But so that's
excellent
a good video
resource
to go back and watch. Now, what else do you have here? You got some snow-covered forest.
Yeah, so I just moved to some parts. So we're on the last of the snow-covered basics. So same again. So you can see a theme here. But so just trying to get as many snow-covered forests. Same again. Snow-covered mountains. Just.
The snow-covered mountain art is probably my favorite mountain art as well.
A lot of people's favorite. A couple people have told me that this weekend.
Yeah.
So I'll just quickly go through this. This is actually stuff that I traded for this weekend
at
MisprintCon. So that's kind of fun, exciting. I think nowadays you don't get to trade as much in Magic, especially the advent of TCG Player and stuff. Trading and it can be kind of difficult and tough. This weekend was trading misprints for other misprints was just fantastic.
Right.
It's definitely something to think about coming out to, especially if you like misprints, have a small misprint collection. I mean, the trading and the good times with everyone, it's been fantastic.
And I mean, there are plenty of people here who are, I brought a binder of stuff that was just for sale.
Yeah.
I think a couple other people have them as well. So, if you're, I know we had some people yesterday who were new to the community or who were new to Magic even. If you're interested in misprints, find the group.
Yeah.
Start talking to people in the group. And when they start talking about MisprintCon, ask to go.
Yeah, and especially if even if you're half interested, but if you're close by or proximate, you can drive or get with some buddies. I think it's a great thing to come to. Good times, great people.
Absolutely.
It's a dedication to fly across the country to do it if you're not, you're not into it. But it really is a great group of guys, and like I said, I mean, just the trading and so I'll just go through some of these. I picked up a Miska Ogre Bolus, a Braid, Rift Bolt, pretty cool here, multi-print Incinerate. You can't see this, but I think it is.
There it is.
It's double or triple printed on the text. Really hard to see in this. It looks
There.
really cool in person, but I know it's a little tough to see some of these
see it
errors.
there. Yeah.
So there's some of these errors, but it's pretty neat. Overall, the black inks, some washed out Monastery Swift Spear is a relatively common error. I picked up this is a grindstone. It's an Italian one. This is an evergreen error, so this is an error that affected a large percentage of the print run.
Sure.
I don't know if it was 20%, 50%, a large percentage. Like the pink ponder is a good example of an evergreen error that is seen throughout. So this is cool. It's just a big black, blob, but it's not anything on the card. It's actually something to do with when they actually printed the image on the card.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of them like this, but
Interestingly enough, there's another Italian evergreen error.
Yep.
That's
there's lots. There's a lot. There's a lot.
There's one that affected 100% of a print run.
Okay.
Forbidding Watchtower.
Yes.
Doesn't have a set symbol on it.
Yes.
And that's an error
Yes.
that affected the entire.
100%.
The plate was made incorrectly.
Correct. Yeah.
They left the set
Correct.
symbol off.
And that happens a lot with translation errors and moving from one language to another. There's a lot of foreign.
It happens in cards that they do in English too.
Yeah.
Walking Atlas from Roadway.
I was just thinking that.
Just
artifact
left a word
concept.
off.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Just left.
And sometimes they correct it afterwards, so you get this thing where it's the percentage of the print run is first print run for pre-releases, and,
Yep.
and then they've corrected it the second one.
And that one they just never caught it.
Yeah, and sometimes they don't want to fix it, so it's.
Got a foil storm. Is that a misprinted foil Stormcrow, or is that
So
just for the memes?
This is kind of it was kind of a joke throw in because nobody wants Stormcrow, and so I was the unlucky. I have the privilege of the albatross of the 8th edition foil Stormcrow.
Bottom right Delver, is that factory cut or NFC?
These are all NFCs.
Okay.
These are all NFCs. I have some more Delvers. We'll get to them. Probably one of my favorite Magic cards, Delver Secrets. I traded for these yesterday.
I think you're sort of in a club called a whole lot of people with
so
with Delver
a whole lot of
Secrets.
people, but I probably have the most miscut Delver. I'm going to say that I have the most miscut Delver of Secrets Legacy deck. I think that's probably safe to say.
That's that's why
why
we want to show it
Yeah.
on camera for sure.
So just a couple of Liliana's defeat, just miscut. I have this is a Japanese Mirage Island. It has some ink smearing. It's going to be kind of tough to see as well, but pretty cool error. There's dark lines in the. Let's try and move this. Some of these errors are kind of tough to see, and I have perfect fits on these, so I do apologize for that. If there's something really, really cool and unique, I'll take it out. This as well, it's on a foil, so it's hard to see, but if you look on the bottom where it says token creature elemental, really dark speckles. So it's ink smear, show you just so you can see it, but it's across the whole bottom. Just kind of neat errors, just an Acacia Infantry. I'm a big old school fan, and so sometimes just picking up random cards that no one ever thought that they would need. So again, one of the benefits of trading and stuff, somebody had this in the binder, they didn't know that anybody would ever want this card.
Right.
I wanted it. So this is my 4th Baleful Strix miscut, so kind of exciting to finish a playset. I have a very exciting playset that we will see. But I finished a couple playsets yesterday. This was one of them.
Very cool.
Chronicles, misprinted Gasman Ogre.
Is that just double printed on the?
Yeah, it's ink. It's ink.
Over-inked?
It's relatively common.
Yeah.
And it's for some reason, I'm not sure if it's just the things that I've seen. There's a lot of green creatures with this error. Argothan, Pixies, Gasman Ogre, a couple other green cards. Maybe it's just more noticeable on the green cards. I'm not sure. Okay, so some more stuff I traded for. Miscut, Firebolt, Dismantling Blow. This is kind of cool. It's not quite showing another card, but it's a World Championship card. I don't really have any miscuts of this. And it's City Brass, so hey, double up. So
yeah, absolutely.
One of my favorite Magic cards. I have a miscut one. I actually don't have that with me, but I picked up I'm not a big Crimp fan, but I've probably played. Can you see the Crimp?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I probably played Stifle more than most Magic cards in my sort of call it Magic career, and so just picking up misprints. Liliana, The Last Hope, miscut. You can see the top left corner.
That's really nice.
Yeah, really nice.
As someone who plays a lot of Modern,
and I picked up a Careful Studies little dot here,
Yep.
just a minor error, but. I think that's my 3rd one. This I didn't pick up this weekend. I moved this out of binder, but really nice miscut Sylvan Library showing, I think it's an artifact on the left. It could be a white card. A couple of these are pretty common errors. Sinkweed Imps. So I'm selling stuff I traded for.
Is that the stink we didn't put the jellyfish over
Yes,
it?
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a common. This one has the double. So
Yeah.
most of them are single jellyfish. It's got a jellyfish and a baby with him, I guess.
Yeah.
Some non-magic cards, but I do have I will show this off to the camera just because I think it's funny.
Is it O.J. Simpson?
It's a miscut O.J. Simpson.
Oh.
So don't mess with him. He'll cut you.
Yeah, apparently. Apparently, he won't cut you very well.
No. Well, or he won't. But he'll write a book about it.
Yeah.
How he won't cut you.
Yeah.
So-
If he had cut you, here's how he would do
And
it.
I think most people probably I'm not going to say what's on the bottom, but if you Google Bill Ripken, and then you look at what is written on the bottom of his baseball bat on some of the print run, I don't know if you know this. You can read it. I'm not going to say it out loud, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I was a really, really hardcore baseball
fan?
collector
Okay.
for a long time. Just I collected baseball cards, and so I'm very familiar
Okay,
with those.
Yeah,
That-
it's funny because it's a card people pick up that one I don't like. I'm not a particularly big. I do want this one. I guess this is a test print one of it, so it's actually a test run.
That's really
Which is
cool.
kind of cool, where they missed it. So that's kind of neat. But anyway, so let's stick to Magic. Okay, so I'm gonna flip through some stuff, and I'm gonna probably a lot of Misprint Con's been, and a lot of people really hate non-factory cut cards. I am in between a player and a collector. I used to play a lot of SCG events, GPs. Have played on the Pro Tour. I like to play Magic, and I also like to collect.
I think yeah, you've
I'm
been
in a-
on coverage a couple times
Yes,
with the
yes,
the
my
NFC
decks- yeah.
miscut.
So,
with
yeah,
the
so-
NFC duels and stuff.
Yeah, so I have 40 miscut duels. They're not all NFC.
Okay.
So I have some that I bought before NFC. The first NFCs were cut. So I can't remember exactly. I have 13 or 15 factory cut, and the rest are. But I wanted a full playset. I never would have got there as a player. It was helpful for me to use NFCs. As a
Yeah.
collector, I understand people's. I don't have an issue with them other than the deception that happens. I don't
Right.
want people to buy something that they think is factory cut and they overpay for it. That is just that's a bad thing. That's the downside.
And
of it.
now that people know, I think in the really early days of the NFCs, when
Yeah,
Ely
there's some big
Cassis had a whole bunch of like revised sheets
Yeah.
cut, and there was some stuff that got sold
Yeah.
intentionally,
it
and
was
they were
unfortunate.
intentionally
It was
deceiving
unfortunate.
people,
Yeah.
and some stuff was sold as factory cut that was not, and now
And
that
it still happens, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And, now we know if it's from a newer set and it's non-foil, it's probably safe with a few exceptions.
Mm-hmm.
But the foils and if they're curled, there's telltale signs. And a lot of people they do the extreme. Just going back to. We talked about the Delvers. They do the kind of extreme miscuts. People are not doing the subtle, just showing card. They usually do them pretty extreme. So there's some telltale signs.
Yeah.
Look at the corners. I'm not gonna identify. But there's a lot of hatred towards NFCs. I'm not gonna ID which ones are factory and which ones are not because a lot
Yeah.
of people can't tell the difference. And so for me personally, I said, why do you have so much interest and hatred towards something when you can't even tell the difference?
right.
So I understand people's dislike of them, and that's fine. Everyone gets their own opinion. For me, the player part of me,
Yeah. It's there probably is not a full 40 of factory
or there
cut
might
duels.
be, but they're distributed. So
Yeah.
and I could never get them. So
Right.
So anyway, so I have a bunch of duels, and then we're going into fetches. So this is there's some of these are index. This is Miscut Russian, Windswept Heath. So this is talking of NFC and factory era. This is a really cool card. So this is a marsh flats that is English and French, and it was from a test sheet, a make ready sheet, and it's double printed. It was a sheet, and somebody's cut it kind of normally, so it's a NFC normal cut factory error. So we got the double whammy on.
Yeah,
that.
I would even just call that from a cut sheet, like as opposed to NFC. Like NFC, I think applies
To
like
the miscuts.
to it being miscut.
You're trying to represent.
Yeah, I think that if you buy a full sheet and have someone cut it to use it.
Normally?
I
Yeah.
think that's just a sheet that's been cut, as opposed to NFC. I think in my mind typically applies to like cards that are intentionally being miscut.
Yeah, the distinction is tough there, right? So there's a bunch of War of the Spark sheets, and I've seen that some of them have been cut normally. Would you be upset if you had a card from that sheet cut normally versus a pack So you're looking at foils, right? So if you buy the Ren and 6, or the not Ren and 6, sorry, like one of the Planeswalkers or a more expensive card.
Karn the Great Creator, I think is the most expensive foil.
Yeah. So but if you buy that and it's cut normally versus a pack foil, would you be upset because they didn't disclose it? So we can get into some semantics here.
Yeah.
I just it's I don't want anyone to feel bad. I don't think most people don't want to misrepresent.
I think it's very obvious that we have a lawyer on stream with us.
No comment. No comment.
No comment.
No comment. Back to Magic. Sorry, getting off. So Voting Catacombs, just some ink errors. Another one, Japanese, some ink errors as well. Some of these slots are missing because they're cards that are in decks, and some of these aren't miscut. So I'll quickly go through. So this card is really cool. This is Sulfuric Vortex. Yes, that's purple at the bottom. It just looks cool. Just whatever the error is over the red made it look kind of purple. Just really cool looking card.
It's like a solvent error to me.
Yeah, some sort of solvent error probably. Price of Progress. So lots. You can see a pattern here. Lots of playable cards. This is sort of alpha cut. So some shatters. Japanese FBB with an ink smudge. 2 4th edition. Factory cut shatters. Some Tormod's Cribs, Crucible, Pithing Needle. Okay, so my babies. Dazes, miscut playset, miscut Dazes, crimped Delver checklist card, ink smudged Delver, miscut checklist card, crimped checklist card. So okay. I got my checklist 100% misprinted. Crimped Delver, ink smudged Delver, back ink smudged Delver. This is the best Delver of Secrets that I've seen. It's kind of hard to see, but this is where the border should be, and you can see full black, and there's black speckled all over here. And in the text as well, it's kind of ink smudged.
Yeah.
Really cool, a little shiny on the card, but really cool error. It's the best Delver Secrets error that I found, and I have another crimped Delver here as well. So I like this card. Played a lot, like you said, a lot of people like this card. So, all right, so the set that I finished this weekend, I picked up my 4th Wolf Hymnotorek.
And these are 4 miscut.
These are 4 miscut, showing another card. Wolf Hymnotorek. I already had 3 coming in this weekend. I picked up this one today. So shout out to Matt Briggs. But I picked up this weekend. They're all showing another card. 3 are showing a green card and 1. This is one of my favorite. Just the white card on the edge just really pops next to the black. Mm-hmm. The contrast, and of course, I mean this way. It's a 2/2 Hymnotorek.
Yeah, I mean that's a play as written playable, I think.
Yeah. So there's lots of discussions about trading and stuff this weekend, and this was one of the big cards. The feeling of anyone that's collected, anyone that's a Magic player knows the feeling of finishing a play set. Finishing a misprint play set is 100 times better.
I feel like did you buy that Mother of Runes recently? Is that something?
Not recently. I actually traded for this from Morgan.
Okay.
A while ago. There was some. So I was making Death and Taxes at one point.
Yeah.
So I've tried to consolidate. You can see I have a lot of playable cards, but I tried to consolidate a little bit to not be trying to take a bite of too many apples.
Right.
So it is a really nice Mother of Runes, though.
Yeah.
I haven't seen very many. This is a factory error. Is it New Phyrexia? Right set.
Yes, it is New Phyrexia.
And you can see another card on this Surgical Extraction. So I saw a lot of misprinted backs yesterday on Surgical Extractions, but no miscut ones, unfortunately. So I need another one of those. Really cool color looking here, so you can see where the ink is all gone. Now this is some sort of solvent or some sort of something on the
That's probably actually just missing part of the black layer for the art, because there's the black art layer and then the black text layer, and that's probably missing the black layer in the art for the text box.
Okay, super. So either way, it really pops. Like again on camera, sometimes you can't tell, but it's really blue next to this white card. Mm-hmm. Really neat error there. And there's some miscut Dark Rituals. I'll show this one because this one's pretty cool. Japanese FPB miscut Dark Ritual. Some more cards. So this card is going to be really difficult to see. So this is one of my favorite cards. There's 2 cards. The other card I don't have in the binder. I do have with me, but there's 2 cards that are very meaningful that I found in the wild. This is one of them. I was digging through boxes after asking a store for miscuts. So if you look at the top of the card, perfectly normal, envelop, one blue. And as you go down the card from the casting cost to here, things start to get strange.
Yep.
So
that line is pretty distinct.
the line is distinct there, and as you're going, and it's really hard to see. This type of error is really tough to see on camera, but this is triple printed, but only for basically 3/4 of the card, or whatever percentage that is, 80% of the card.
Very obvious in the text box on camera. You can see it's like
this is a really
it sort of looks like
cool
looking at a 3D picture without the glasses on.
And it's interesting because if you when you play the card or you put this card, you read the envelope and it's normal, and then if someone doesn't know what the card does, they start reading the text, that their eyes go cross-eyed, trying to read this card, and it has the same. It's, again, kind of hard to see on the camera on the back. So normal, and then it has a similar error.
If you look down where it says Deckmaster down at the bottom, I think
if you look at the dot, look at the green dot.
Oh, I'm gonna have to not.
Yeah,
because it is physically hurting me a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's really cool.
It's really cool.
Even where it says Magic the Gathering is just below that triple print line, where it says The Gathering.
Yes.
And that's really a pretty wild error.
It's super fun. Something I found in the wild, and that's pretty cool too, because you don't get to do that. Sometimes you get to trade or buy some cards, but to find stuff in the wild, that's another feeling. Like
I have opened one misprint out of a pack, and it was a pre-release foil.
But it still felt cool. It still was cool. So I didn't open these, but I found them looking through boxes of stuff.
Yep.
I have another card that was opened in a draft. And it was brought to me because I was the misprint guy around.
Yeah.
And I got to trade for it. That's a really cool card as well. So just some more miscuts here. I'll speed this up. Some Smash the Smithereens with ink. These are NFCs. Mm-hmm. Wall Slash, Tarfire, some Ink Smudge, Colgan's Commands, Ink Smudge Scavenging Ooze. Some more. So actually, some of these I picked up yesterday. This is really cool. Really easy to see. Back. Front.
Oh no! One of them is upside down.
Back. It's a really cool portal misprint there. Just some other cards. This is kind of difficult to see. I'm not sure. The saturation levels on this, it's really hard to see this. In person, it really pops. The color really pops. And it looks like it's missing some of the gloss. The clear coat on the top as well. It's a pretty neat card. I picked up a 4 True Name Nemesis yesterday, miscut as well. I play old school. I was pretty excited to pick up this little guy, little Uthden troll showing sheet edge. I think he's Italian, but he's still an oi boy. So excited about that. I also picked up a Nimble Mongoose yesterday as well. These are some regular cards and a Summer Fireball. So this is one of my favorite cards. So people can probably tell I'm not from the U.S. This is where I'm from. You can figure that out. And this is a playtest card that I got from one of the original playtesters that played with Richard Garfield. That's signed by the playtester on the back. Just meaningful for Magic, meaningful for original Magic playtesting, and also from where I'm from. So it just kind of hits all of the highlights. Just really cool for me. These are just alpha.
Somebody wants to know: are any of your Fallen Empires miscuts twisted?
Yeah. So if you see the hymn, so I have a bunch of them, but you can see the hymn that I just picked up is twisted. You see that if you look right here.
Yep. Absolutely, yeah.
Side. So I have more cards from the sheet as well.
Okay, from the same sheet?
From the same sheet.
Awesome.
The same cut. So a bunch Brass Claw Orcs and a bunch of other cards. I have a bunch of other cards from that sheet as well.
Awesome.
So I do sometimes pick up sets, and these are some of my playable cards. That's just kind of how I dump them in a binder. Like I said, I don't really keep cards organized like this. They're usually in decks.
Gruland says he has maybe 30 cards from that sheet.
Nice. Yeah, well, the hymn would definitely not be for trade if you're looking for more cards, or if you're looking to get rid of them. Just reach out to me. I have an Instagram at MTG Misprint. There's lots of pictures of my stuff on the Instagram. So,
I think I follow you on Instagram, actually.
That's me. So that's some of my stuff I have. Just real quick, this is not strictly misprints, but this is my Electric Eel Global Collection. This is all of the electric eels that you can get. So it's It's a little bit cheating because there's only two. So there's Italian and English, and then I have an English artist proof, and then 3 misprints.
Okay.
So they didn't print Italian artist proofs. But
Your Facebook is just your name, correct?
it's just my name. Yeah.
IE?
Yes, IE. Chris. TIE. So yeah, so this is actually a misprint. It's white backed. It looks just like an artist proof, but they didn't create artist proofs for Italian. The dark.
Okay.
For whatever reason. I playtest Electric Eel and then a severely miscut back. So small. I got some fillers here. Nothing particular. This is a Wyvern Harry Potter. This is pretty cool. That's something that maybe not everyone's seen. This is from some sort of German pre-con deck. So it has a bunch of German information here on the back, but really cool since it mirrors a normal Magic card, but it has different color scheme. Looks just really cool. Always get asked about this when people are looking through my stuff. All right, one page on here. Nothing super exciting. People love squirrels. You can see actually the little piece of the card below popping up onto this card here. Charlie Brown Sapphire Medallion, and another Wyvern High Tide. Always really cool to see crimps in the other direction. Just something you don't
the vertical
always
crimps
see.
are really cool.
Vertical crimps are really cool. This is I'm not a big crimp fan, but this is still in the packaging, and it's crimped all on the bottom, which is kind of fun as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just some stuff that I had in the binder. For this weekend, there was a couple events that happened and were happening, and one of the ones was to create a legacy legal deck, but it had to be misprints. No more than 5 cards could be minor or NFC. So everything else. So it's a weird format. I mostly play Delver, but people don't have a lot of factory cut, miscut duels, so Delver's not as good. I also don't have enough wastelands to fully make the deck. I only have a couple off-center wastelands. So I struggled to find, from my sort of looking to find something that would be good, and also knowing other people would have less optimal decks. So it's sitting in, this is a format only played here.
Yeah.
By very few people even here. So, but I'll go through a deck. So everything is factory cut except from one card, which is NFC, and I'll point out that card.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I might take the whole deck and flip it right side up, and then you can just.
Okay.
There we go.
So all right, cool. So I'm gonna immediately have to put this one down because the error is on the back, and it's Jace Telepath Unbound, and it's ink smudged all across the top here.
Yeah, you can see there's a couple large black dots
Yeah,
in
there's
the name
some
bar.
large black dots. Again, some of these errors, it's funny, I buy Magic cards and misprints on from the group and other places. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Sometimes you roll the dice a little bit when you buy something because photos can make a huge difference, and in person sometimes the colors and the vibrancy, they really pop.
And I think that a lot of us have gotten pretty good about being able to get access to high-res scans. I mean, you can, and if you're new,
camera phones, even just
Yeah.
camera phone technology has improved so much in the
well,
last
and if
5
you really
years
need a
or so.
high-resolution scan of something, like, remember, you can always go to Staples and do that. Like,
Yeah.
they can get you an ultra-high-resolution digital scan for $1.
It's true. So this is Russian. It's ink smudged and it's double printed Ponder. This is a miscut volcanic island, and it is not NFC. It is factory cut.
Ooh.
This is the common pink splodge Ponder.
Yeah.
Another miscut preordain. Force of Will, showing a red card on top. The red card is Burnout.
Ah, yes.
The red card is Burnout.
What do you have? Do you have the burnout for
I
that
have
sheet?
the Burnout from the sheet.
Look at this.
It's the connector. I put it in my sideboard. I felt like I couldn't not. It was a flavor fail if I didn't do that for this weekend.
I agree.
So, not something I would normally play in a quote-unquote legacy deck, but I thought it would be fun. Some ink splodge, counter spells. One of my favorite cards that you just don't see in miscuts. Young Pyromancer showing a blue card at the top there. Just something that I don't see very often. Miscut Fire and Ice. You can see a theme here. Another volcanic island, not NFC. Brainstorm showing the sheet edge. It's not the sheet edge, showing the edge of the other card there. Whiteboarded one. Probably my favorite card in the deck. This is Miscut Alpha Lightning Bolt, showing a swamp on the bottom. Another counterspell with the ink splotches. Bloodstained Mire missing the stamp on the bottom. Miscut Brainstorm showing a green card on the edge. So I'm going through some of these kind of fast. Another pink splotch ponder. Okay, Worldwake Jace. You can see probably easiest on here. There is a line running straight across the card.
Oh yeah.
So Misprint case, 4th edition factory cut lightning bolt. Miscut True Name Nemesis, Spell Pierce. I think we have 3 Miscut Chain Lightnings. I need one more. Let me know if somebody has one. I need one more to complete my play set. I hate foils, so this is the only foil in the deck. But I needed another one for this weekend, so I picked this up. It has ink splattering all on the bottom.
Oh, I see that.
Yeah. So again, if anyone has anything they'd be interested in, feel free to hit me up on Instagram or Facebook or what have you. Russian Miscut Blue to Delta. Again, this is, you're probably going, what on earth are you playing in this deck? Soulscar Mage. I'm playing quite a few lands in this deck. I'm kind of a blue-red sort of control deck. The thought process here was that I can't deal with bigger creatures. I'm all in on bolts and chain lightnings. I didn't know what other people would be playing. So this was sort of a little bit of a hedge, a way that I could interact early, but I could also interact, if someone's playing Tarmogoyf or something, I have nothing to really interact with. This would help me with that, sort of my thinking there. Soulscar Mage, Flooded Strand, Miscut, Mishra's Factory, Miscut Spell Pierce. This is really cool. Japanese, it's totally faded, and you can see all the colors there. Up on the top.
Yeah, I almost think the cards that are faded only in one part of them are cooler than the cards that are all the way faded.
Makes these fairies, their faces, really contrast to the third fairy's face down here. Just really cool. And the blue cards when they're faded, just something about the coloring, the coloration. Another Miscut True Name Nemesis. I think this is Spanish. It's missing the hollow stamp. The third Miscut True Name Nemesis. The 4th one you saw was in my binder. Miscut Counterspell. All right, Mishra's Factory. This one, funny story. I don't know if you've had Daniel. Have you had Daniel on this weekend?
Daniel Anschutz? Not yet.
No, not Daniel Anschutz. Daniel, the other person from the UK.
Oh, yeah.
With the shades. He had his shades on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so,
he was. He came back to do some covers with us, with Morgan and myself yesterday.
Okay, so Daniel kindly. So I had a last-minute decision. So I bought these cards from someone in Europe, and they didn't want to ship them outside of Europe, so I had them sent inside the UK, but not to Daniel. I had them shipped. Anyway, I had a last-minute decision that I wanted these cards to get here this weekend, and I decided this on Saturday evening, and Daniel was leaving Tuesday mid-morning to get here from the UK. So I had these cards shipped within the UK overnight. Monday morning, they got to Daniel's house with 30 minutes to go as he was leaving for the airport.
Oh, wow.
This one, and there is another one. I'll point out the other one. But so I was very excited. So I got to play with these for the first time this weekend. 4th edition, 4th Miscut Lightning Bolt centered on the back. Kind of cool. I have the connectors here as a Lost Soul on the bottom. Some more of my favorite Miscut Covered Islands. Ponder, some more islands here as well. So another factory, not as big as the other one. Another Soulscar Mage, snow-covered islands. We have another Jace the Mind Sculptor here. This one is ink splattered all across the top, straight through his eyes, which is pretty cool. It looks pretty neat with the artwork with his cloak and sort of crossing, all of the ink crossing his eyes. Looks like it could almost be part of the original artwork.
Yeah.
Another Brainstorm, another snow-covered island. This was the other factory that came in. As you can see, it is common, so it's not very rare.
Ah, of course.
One of my favorite cards in the deck as well, other than my Lightning Bolt. This is sort of just so cool. Really neat Brainstorm, probably my favorite Brainstorm. I've seen one other one that is a bit more severe than this. Has the white starts a little bit. So this is some sort of something on the press, so all the color didn't get applied. Really cool looking card. Augur Bolus. You can see we had to go deep with some of the cards in here. Counterspell again. Miscut Underground Sea. Alpha Lightning Bolt ink smudge all up in the text box there. Another miscut Blue to Delta, one of my snow-covered mountains. Ink smudged all down the right-hand side here. Phantasmal Image. Made a couple of true name Nemesi over the weekend.
Nemesis?
Nemesis.
I think it's Nemesis.
Well, whoever is my nemesis, they died swiftly to Phantasmal Images. So this is an NFC volcanic island.
Okay.
Faded Scalding Tones. These are relatively common. Kind of cool splatter ink error here across Arid Mesa. Really cool miscut Fort Bolt. Something I haven't seen a lot of. Original set. Another one of my favorite cards here. Really good Polluted Delta. And last card here, Preordain. And let me just go through the sideboard real quick. So a bunch of miscut elemental tokens. I picked this up as well yesterday. Just a minor error on Fort Bolt and miscut Braid. Okay, miscut Flusterstorm here. Is it Charm? Another splotch. I'm not sure how easy this is to see here. There's a big splotch on this Spell Pierce. 3 of the sort of gray, washed out Hydroblasts. Pretty cool. Little Fire Covenant here. You saw there was one Underground Sea in the deck. I thought I might be killing a lot of small creatures, so came with that. Same reasoning here. We got this little Sudden Demise. We've got a Grip of Phyresis. I'm not sure how you pronounce that exactly, but anyway, wasn't sure if people would be bringing equipment, so I wanted to wait to deal with that as well. Pretty cool Exclude here. Blood Moon, Chronicle Blood Moon shows the top of the sheet on the back. Pretty neat. Last couple cards here, some miscut Pyroblasts showing blue cards at the top and the bottom, which is pretty cool. Alpha cut Control Magic. And we guys saw the burnout that connected to the Force Wheel earlier.
All right. Awesome.
So that's my Legacy deck for this weekend. Which was fun. It was great. It was great to to be forced to sort of brew and in a very different manner with what I had around, and I picked up, like I said, I don't like foils generally, but I picked up that foil Young Pyromancer just for the whole purpose of playing with it this weekend.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much for taking some time to share that stuff with us before you have to get on your flight. And
absolutely.
We'll be back here in just a little bit.